Hello everyone, greetings from Düsseldorf. My name is Christian, you also know me under the nickname Leland Gaunt. I'm responsible for the German territories, and today we talk with Adrian Blunt, producer of Ghost Recon Online. And my colleague Juan is also there in Paris, so I give the word to Paris.
Yes, hello, I am Juan Eduardo. You may know me in-game as Juan, so you can easily remember me. And yeah, I'm working for the English-speaking European territories. And yeah, of course, with Leland Gaunt or with Christian, we are interviewing Adrian about, well, a few features and a few things which have come up on the latest patch. And yeah, after you, Adrian.
Hi guys, I'm Adrian. I'm a producer for the development team on Ghost Recon Online, for anybody who doesn't know me. You may know me in-game as A-Delicious. I'm usually the guy that's being shot.
Okay, so let's start with the first topic. Adrian, with version 10, you released the holdout mode. What was the decision to have 3 rounds instead of 2 rounds like in the other game modes?
I think there's a couple of reasons for that. The first thing, obviously, when we build a new map, or in this case when we build a new map and a new game mode, we do a lot of playtesting on it. There was a huge amount of playtests that we're doing, so we gather feedback within the dev team about what feels good in terms of timing, what feels good in terms of pace when we're playing. And what we found was that what felt good for that game mode was really short round times. So that's what really got the pace, that's what got the energy going on holdout. And so, but then we had the case that what we didn't want, because of the loading times, the amount of time it takes for 16 people to get into a match, we wanted everybody to get good value for the amount of time that they spent getting into the match and playing the match. So we spent some time trying to keep to the 2 round system, but it just felt too short. And so we then had a look at the 3 round system, and what that gives you, it gives you a good length of time for the entire match, and it allows us to keep that pacing. And the added benefit is that because it's there's always going to be a winner on that, so even if basically as a team on the losing team where you've lost the first 2, you still have the opportunity to end the match on a high by winning that. And what we see looking at stats is a lot of teams are rallying on that final round, and so everybody's leaving that match happy, which is always a bonus for us.
Perfect. Well, the next question is one about the trends, the latest trend on nerfing recons. Basically, removing the pop-shotting, vertical grip, the slowing down of the Hermes armor. Is there an explanation to why all these changes have been taking place?
I think when we look at either guns or armor or differences between classes, it all comes down to balancing. What we're trying to create is a perfectly balanced system where, regardless of what you choose, there's pros and cons to everything that you do. And so what we have found is that there's been a lot of cases where recons have been overpowered in certain areas, and so we've whilst there's always lots of people saying different things, but what we do is look at the stats as well. So we've heard people say that recons are overpowered. We've looked at the stats, that is the case, and so in those cases we've tried to bring it down. We're never trying to punish recons, we're just trying to make it as level a playing field as possible, and so that's where those decisions have come, hopefully for the better of everybody playing the game.
Okay. You released several weapon editions, like the Arctic weapons, the Antique edition, the Triton weapons, or the last one was the Assassin's Creed weapons. How do you decide which kind of weapons, which models come into those packs?
It's a combination of the cycling through the weapons that we have and picking ones that we'd really like to do a special edition on from a functionality perspective and really bolstering that. The other side is obviously the aesthetic. If we take the Assassin's Creed pack, which guns fit really well aesthetically with that pack? And so it's a combination, it's a balance of those two things. We bring those together, so there's no hard and fast rule. We're going to pick that gun and we're going to do that thing with it. It's basically we've got our selection of guns. We know the cool things that we want to do with it, and we have our artists have ideas about how to make them look cool, and we bring those together, and that really defines what ends up as the special edition weapons.
Alright, for the next one is, will we have the option to, in the future, to decline clan invites? For example, right now, we could already be in a clan and we still get clan invites.
Yeah, I think that's it's a very valid feature request. I found it myself as well, that sometimes I'm in a clan, I'm happy with my clan, and I don't want to join another clan. That's certainly something that we need to look at, and it is already on a backlog of things to do and tweaks to make to the game.
Okay. With 0.10.0 you release the unranked clan matches, and teams now have the possibility to play against each other, but some players complain that you just can choose one map, and if you want to play 2 or 3 maps in this clan war, you must set up a new match afterwards. Are there any plans to include more options that you can select 2 maps or 3 maps that will be played?
I think ultimately yes, we need to look at that interface, and right now we've heard the feedback from the community that basically you set up your clan, you go to the effort of creating that match, you play the match, and then you either keep playing that same one or you have to break up. And so we hear that we have to fix it, and so there is we're going through the design phase right now of exactly how we fix it. But ultimately we need to be able to give players playing in clan matches more choice about the maps that they're playing if they want to continue playing together. So, long answer to yes, we're looking at it.
Okay, for the next one is, will we be able to change the clan tag names after we've already created it?
So it's ultimately right now obviously you can't. Once you've selected your clan tag and clan name, that's it. It's the original thought behind that was when I create a clan, I'm creating an investment. It's an extension of my personality as a clan leader to create that. So to be able to then change the name was not something we built into that initial design. I think we need to look at the use case of why people want to change it. Did they make a mistake and then suddenly they built a big clan, or what are the reasons? I think we need to look at that and then make a decision about how we support it. But that's something that we will continue to look at.
Perfect.
What's your opinion on more possibilities and restrictions in clan matches? For example, that the match creator has the possibility to forbid impact grenades or magnum ammo or things like that.
I think I'm just seeing a technical director wander in the background. It's disconcerting. Yes, more choice in creating clan matches. I think again that is something that I would personally I'd love for us to be able to do. It's certainly something that's on our backlog of how to be able to sort of allow people to really create the clan match that they want to, and to create that competition themselves. So that is certainly something that we are looking at. I can't go into any more detail other than we're looking at it, but it's a very valid request.
Alright, the next question is, will there be an automatic auto-balance in the game? For example, if there's uneven teams or anything in which teams would be automatically set up to be even on both sides?
I think ultimately that is one of the areas where we spend a lot of time and effort, is trying to make sure that matches are balanced when they're created. That's the underlying philosophy of the automatic matchmaking that we have. It's something that ultimately we need to keep refining. We need to keep creating. Our ultimate goal is everybody should be having the best match possible, and that's something that we're investing very, very heavily on, and how we do that. There are so many different ways that you can do that. Being able to balance across a game is one way of doing it, but we also, I fundamentally believe in the concept of I'm playing with my team, and as I play with my team, my teammates around me, I get used to the way that they're playing, and actually that's where I would love for us to focus even more. If suddenly my teammates are changing, either between rounds or however that works, then that sort of overlaying concept starts to break up. So we've got to be very careful with that. But ultimately, matchmaking should always be about people coming into a match and having the best possible experience, being matched with the right people. And that's just something that I'm focusing the team very, very heavily on.
Alright.
Currently you have 2 grenades per life when you have equipped them. Some users are asking to have an overall limitation of grenades per match, for example, that you just can use 30 grenades in one match.
And so yes, the question is whether or not we would ever limit the number of grenades in there. I've seen the feedback that we received on grenades, that there is obviously people are seeing grenade spam in the game. It's looking at the data, where whilst that is the case in some matches, it's not the case in most matches. So it's an interesting one. We want to give people the freedom to be able to use consumables or toys that we've given them, rather than restricting them unnecessarily. But we do have to be very conscious of the fact that if for some reason, why is it that some people, or in some matches, some clusters of matches, that these grenades are always being thrown? And I think that's absolutely something we need to keep looking at. I don't want to have just a blanket ban, you can only use 6 grenades in a match, because then that restricts people in the way that they play. But we do need to have, again, it's about a balance. I know it myself. If I'm hiding out and I get a grenade on it, that's frustrating. It's part of the game though, and I play around it. And it's, I think that's where I would love for us to focus our development, is how do we encourage players to be able to know how to play around people throwing grenades, and make that really clear, rather than just restricting what people are doing.
Alright. The next one, well, we already have the new game mode, Holdout, and we'd like to know if there's any new game modes planned, and just as examples, they had deathmatch or team deathmatch, even though they might not be tactical based.
Yeah, so I think deathmatch, team deathmatch, as you say, they don't really fit with the Ghost Recon DNA. We're a tactical shooter at the end of the day. We're all about team play. We're all about playing together as a team and moving as a team and winning as a team. Deathmatch just doesn't fit that ethos at all. So in that particular example, we're unlikely to go down that route. But that being said, having variety in what we offer it's a fundamental part of who we are and what we're doing. So we're always looking at new ways that we can deliver the game, new experiences, and so yeah, stay tuned. I'm not going to say when, but at some point, yeah, I really hope that we can deliver you some really new, exciting ways to experience Duo.
Perfect.